So I'm in a hotel right now, and I'm not making it up. Every single wall is honey mustard yellow, and so are the lights. So everything's washed out in yellow. I'm sorry, I don't know. This is the only thing I can record on right now. And as you can see from this quality, this is just going to be an unedited, one take, let's go kind of thing. So this is a response to Nash Grier's What Guys Find Attractive in Girls. And to be honest, my title's kind of misleading. I don't support the video, I just don't really give a crap about it. But it'd be a bad title to put, like, I'm neutral towards this video. So, anyway. To start off, I watched this video a long time ago when it really only had, like, 1,000 views, I think. And I got 30 seconds into it, and then this kid burped, and they were all like, oh my god, it's so gross. And I was like, okay, this is stupid. So I just exited out and never thought about it again. But then I saw this Tumblr post about how Hank Green had written this long comment on the video, on some video where these boys are objectifying women and stuff. I was like, sounds pretty misogynistic. I should look at it. So I clicked the link, and it takes me back to this YouTube video, and I get this deja vu feeling. I'm like, wait, this seems really familiar. I feel like I've seen this. And then it hit me. It's the same stupid-ass video I could barely finish the last time. So this time, I watched it through to the end to see if there was some kind of, like, crazy thing that happened that would make it so controversy stirring up worthy. But it was just so boring. I don't see anything wrong with the video to justify the hate it's getting. So let me just come out and say I agree it's a douchey video because you don't really need to make a video like that. It's just kind of obnoxious. Nobody cares. And it's not edifying. But besides that, I don't think it's justified to hate on these kids so much because I think that most of the people who are hating on this video are actually hypocrites. And let me just, like, explain this before I get some, like, nasty comment that I cry over. So these boys are if you put yourself in the situation, it's like, imagine sitting down in front of a camera and being asked to describe your ideal boyfriend. So, of course, you know, if you're going to be describing physical traits, you're going to get kind of maybe, like, specific. So you might be like, I like guys who have black hair and blue eyes or something like that. Or, you know, it doesn't hurt if they have abs like Channing Tatum. And things like that. Because that's your ideal person. But it doesn't mean that you wouldn't be able to ever like or marry someone who was outside of these characteristics. It's just your perfect ideal person. But of course, nobody is going to be your perfect ideal partner ever. So it's kind of stupid to be saying that this video is laying out all the traits girls must have in order to be seen as desirable. Because it's not true. You can have brown hair or blonde hair, or I don't even remember the girl they described, and still be seen as desirable. It's just that ideal set of traits that these boys would like. But it doesn't mean that nobody's ever going to like you. Like, I don't even know where people got this argument from. But another thing about the video is they're saying things like, well, it's obnoxious for the boys to be saying that they would prefer someone with, like, a slim body shape because it's going to have girls with bigger body shape self-hating and all this stuff. But what I say to that is certain things are just more aesthetically pleasing. And I'm not trying to make a dig at anyone's body shape here, but you know, most people, the general consensus is that a slimmer body shape is more pleasing to the eye than someone who is morbidly obese. And again, I'm not trying to be rude here, but that's just what people find attractive. It's like a natural, you know, kind of like predisposition towards a certain type in everybody. So if the boys say, I like a slimmer girl, are you really going to hate on them and be like, you're encouraging all this awful, like, you know, eating disorders and all these feelings of depression girls have by saying that? No, they're just saying what is secretly deep down in everyone's mind. Because if they sat you down in front of a camera and asked you to describe your perfect guy, chances are you wouldn't say you wanted to date someone who's 500 pounds. Maybe you would, it's possible, I'm not saying it's not. But most people, again, they would not say that because that's not their ideal. Does that mean they can't ever love somebody who is 500 pounds? No. It just means that that's not their ideal first pick because most people like slimmer body figures. That's just it. Another thing that caused all this crazy buzz was that they said that they thought it was kind of gross if girls had facial hair. And again, just some of the stuff in the video, they said it was just obnoxious, and they're like, yeah, I like girls, I want a girl to entertain me. So they said some stuff that was really obvious, because of course you're going to want to have, you're going to want a boyfriend or girlfriend who you can carry on a conversation with, but that's so obvious because if you couldn't carry a conversation with them, you wouldn't be dating. So they said some stupid stuff like that, but then they also said, like, I want my girlfriend to entertain me, and I don't think they meant this as kind of like girls are toys for them, because I don't really think they were aiming to be as politically correct as possible. I think they were just trying to convey the point that they want to have an entertaining, fun relationship with their girlfriend. So I just don't really see the huge deal in that, but they said that it was gross to have facial hair. So they did come out and say outright that they did not like that. So I guess in that instance you could say yes, they said that they would not like girls with facial hair. So again, annoying 15-year-old boy thing, 15-year-old boy thing right there, but I think that if we just look back to our own personal likes and dislikes, it would be rare for someone to be willing to date someone with a complete unibrow, let's say. Or maybe hair that comes all the way up to their chin. People just wouldn't want to date someone like that. And I'm not saying it's impossible for anyone to ever want to date them. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. It's just when you think about it yourself, you wouldn't want to date someone like that. Okay? So that's just one thing. But another thing is that who gives a crap what these boys say? They make vines. They're not influential authors, for God's sakes. Like, let's just take a moment and like look at the big picture here. So for example, my hair is as thick as hay. I'm not kidding. It feels like hay. And of course that means I have, if you can see, gorilla arms. But does that bother me? I mean, yeah, it would be nicer if, I didn't have as much hair on my arms, because it's true that touching a hairless arm or a hairy arm, you're going to want to touch the hairless arm, or seeing a hairless arm and a hairy arm, you're going to want to touch the hairless arm. But just because a group of boys on the internet don't find it attractive, that doesn't mean I'm going to go out and shave my arms. First off, that's nasty because it's going to grow back all prickly and it's going to be like, ew, gross. But besides that, I'm not going to go shave my arms because I have enough strength in my character that I don't need to feel the validation of these boys to know that I can be a boss ass bitch. So anyway, I think what upsets me more is that not that these boys are saying I like skinny girls with blonde hair. Who cares? What I think upsets me more is that girls actually, it's taking a toll on their self-esteem. And I think that I just feel like the problem here is girls and how girls react to one another. Because I know if I had a unibrow, the first person to point it out would not be a guy, it'd probably be a girl. And they do it like crazy in packs, laughing at me all the time. So I think what we should change is kind of like how girls react to one another and how girls feel about themselves and how they can feel validation and self-worth and not from what other people think and say. So I think that's the issue here. I don't think it's what Nash Grier and Cameron Dallas and that burping kid think are attractive in a girl. I think it's what girls find attractive within themselves. And if a girl doesn't think she is beautiful herself, it doesn't matter what Cameron Dallas and Nash Grier and Burpee Kid think are attractive, because she's not going to love herself no matter what. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Please don't hate on me. Don't write anything mean. I just want to hear your opinion. So if you agree or disagree or you have anything to add, please comment it below. Bye. Good night.